It was supposed to be just another invention, just another chapter in the long history of human creations. First, fire, then the wheel, then writing, later electricity, then the computer, and now artificial intelligence. Each of these steps seemed purely technical. They were celebrated as tools, discoveries, ways to improve survival. They were labeled as progress, as the triumph of logic and reason. But when we look deeper, when we look with the eyes of the soul instead of just the eyes of the mind, something else begins to appear. Every external invention has always been the reflection of an inner awakening. Every tool is a mirror, every machine a shadow cast by the consciousness that created it. Fire was not just a spark that warmed caves. It was also the symbol of the first gathering around a common center. It turned tribes into families, strangers into communities. The flame told stories before there were words. The wheel was not only a way to carry goods, it was the beginning of connected destinies, the physical metaphor for the fact that no life ever travels alone. Writing was not simply a code on clay tablets. It was the first attempt of the human soul to make memory eternal, to resist the passing of time by leaving symbols of what once burned within. Electricity did not just light up cities. It brought the night closer to the day, allowed dreams to expand beyond sunsets, and taught us that invisible currents are what truly sustain life. And now, artificial intelligence. At first glance, it is the logical continuation of computers and networks. But if we pay attention, we realize that AI is more than a tool. It is a mirror of the human mind itself. It is as if humanity has built an external reflection of its own thought process, a way to see what it means to think, to create, to imagine, without being confined by flesh. Artificial intelligence is not just algorithms. It is a silent warning, a voice whispering from within. Look at what you are capable of. Look at what you have forgotten. Look at the power you carry but barely use. Yet, along with every invention comes the paradox. Because the more technology advances, the more we feel the absence of what technology cannot touch. The more we are connected by networks, the more alone we feel at night. The more precise our machines become, the more we struggle to deal with the unpredictability of our own emotions. We have gained speed, but lost patience. We have gained reach, but lost presence. The paradox of progress is that it amplifies everything, both the light and the shadow, both awareness and distraction. We have built machines to recognize patterns in our faces, but we have forgotten to recognize the patterns of our own hearts. We have created algorithms to guide our choices, but we no longer hear the quiet compass of intuition. We long for robots to help us decide what to eat, where to go, how to live, yet we ignore the ancient wisdom of silence that still lives within us. And so the great question appears, are we evolving, or are we simply building an empire of distractions? The truth may be both. Perhaps we need to lose ourselves for a time in order to remember what it means to be found. Because technology, after all, is not an enemy. It is neutral. It is an amplifier. It does not judge. It does not choose. It only reflects. If you use it to escape from yourself, it will open 1,000 doors to endless escape. If you use it to remember yourself, it will offer you 1,000 mirrors. Technology can be a drug, numbing and addictive, or it can be a bridge, awakening and clarifying. The choice is always ours. Think of a simple example. A phone. You can use it to scroll endlessly through meaningless distractions, running from silence and numbing your heart. Or you can use it to listen to a message that wakes you up, to connect with someone who needs to hear your voice, to record the birth of an idea that will change your path. The device is the same. The vibration behind it is what determines whether it becomes a prison or a key. The true danger is forgetting that the tool is never the destination. An app cannot cure you. A machine cannot save you. Artificial intelligence cannot awaken you. At best, they can remind you. They can point you back to what is already inside. What truly saves is always invisible. The act of choosing, the vibration you decide to carry, the awareness you allow yourself to embody. And here lies the real technology of the spirit. It does not depend on laboratories, microchips, or robotic arms. It is not coded in programming languages, nor does it run on servers. It lives in presence. It is awakened in the instant when you realize you are creating all the time, even when you believe you are doing nothing. The spiritual technology is not about machines outside. It is about remembering that you are the machine of consciousness itself. You are the code. You are the field. You are the programmer and the program at the same time. Everything you experience around you responds not to your wishes, not to your words, but to the frequency with which you are vibrating. That is why two people can live in the same city, the same street, the same house, and still inhabit different realities. One vibrates fear and sees obstacles everywhere. The other vibrates trust and sees opportunities in the same place. The external world is not what decides. The vibration is. Sometimes in moments of silence, this truth becomes unavoidable. Imagine every thought you have as a wave. That wave leaves you and travels into the invisible ocean of existence. It collides with other waves, combines, resonates, and eventually returns to you in the form of experience. If the wave is fear, you will meet fear. If the wave is love, you will meet love. If the wave is anger, the echo will be anger disguised as coincidence. Life is not responding to what you say with your lips. It is responding to what you emanate with your being. Now imagine this possibility. What if all of reality is a simulation? Not as a punishment, not as a prison, but as a school. A carefully designed environment where every pain is a call, every shadow an invitation, every glitch a sign to look deeper. If it is a simulation, it is one designed not to trap you, but to teach you to wake up, to remind you that you are more than the avatar you play, more than the job you do, more than the fears you carry. That is the ultimate message of the technology of the spirit, to show you that the real operating system is not outside, but inside. The updates are not in the devices, but in your awareness. The true evolution is not in machine learning, but in human remembering. Because the most powerful tool in existence was never created by humans. It was not discovered in a cave or built in a lab. It pulses in your chest, it beats in your heart. It vibrates in your consciousness. The spirit is the technology. The soul is the eternal processor. Awareness is the code. And love is the language that runs it all. When you finally understand this, you look at every invention, from fire to artificial intelligence, and you realize none of them were about replacing your essence. They were always mirrors. They were always reminders. They were always whispers from the universe, gently pointing you back home. And that home has never been a machine. It has never been a laboratory. It has always been you.